It's 4:30 on WKYT. This morning, state lawmakers spent almost 10 hours working on the state budget yesterday. How things were left, though, when the meeting adjourned just before midnight. The details coming up this morning. Also, a Powell County man who only has few months to live has a dream of seeing the ocean. One friend is trying to make that dream a reality.
The local chapter of the NAACP wants charges raised against a Lexington Catholic high school student. We'll hear from the local NAACP vice president ahead this morning on WKYT.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you and welcome in. I hope you had a great weekend. We're ready to go here on a Monday. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Michelle Chamberlain. It looks like we're going to have a bit of better weather. Good weather. Good weather, that is.
They're coming as the week.
But it's getting windier.
As the week moves along.
Yes.
That's right. It's going to be a little transitional period. So, we'll see how things go as the day goes along. And Mike Linden is in this morning for Micah. He's joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. We are looking at a transitionary period, and looks like Mother Nature has a case of the Mondays, because today is going to be that day where things do get better, but we have to get past today first for that to happen. Right now, some wet weather along the northern Kentucky edge, moving through Franklin County, through Scott County, and toward Bourbon and Harrison counties. This isn't a downpour by any stretch, but you certainly could be using the windshield wipers if you're heading northbound on I-75. How about this, though? Look at these temperatures across the board. Jefferson County at 64, and most of central and southern, eastern Kentucky already in the mid to high 50s. That means most temperatures are up by nearly 25 degrees of difference from where we were at this time yesterday. A big time step up, but it's all a trade-off in the world of weather, because this is going to mark the start of what looks to be a great looking weekend ahead. We just have to get past this stormy day. I'll have your full 7-day forecast for what you can expect for the week ahead coming up.
That's pretty enticing here. Let's get through this one little day. And a big bump in the road for lawmakers in Frankfort. Yeah,
lawmakers spent almost 10 hours yesterday attempting to agree on a budget.
After working until nearly midnight last night, lawmakers called it a night. The closed-door meeting got underway around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The Democratic-controlled House and the Republican-controlled Senate have been at odds over the state budget bill for much of the legislative session. The main disagreement continues to be funding of state universities. The Senate is siding with Governor Matt Bevin's proposed cuts to help with the state's pension funds. Senate Leader Robert Stiver said last night progress is being made, and they expected just a few more hours of talks. The Democratic House leadership, though, says they recommended moving the General Assembly's last day to Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday to avoid a special legislative session and to save taxpayers dollars. If lawmakers cannot come to an agreement before April 15th, a special session would be needed. If there is no budget by the start of the fiscal year on July 1st, the result could be a partial shutdown of state government.
A local chapter of the NAACP wants charges against a Lexington teen upgraded. A Lexington Catholic high school student is accused of harassing and threatening another student because of his race. He faces a misdemeanor charge right now, but some want that charge to be a felony. WKYT's Caitlin Sintner talked to the local chapter's vice president.
Sadly, Lexington Catholic is certainly not an anomaly. We know that we've heard reports of these same things happening at our 5 public high schools.
Police charged a 17-year-old Lexington Catholic student earlier this week for allegedly harassing a fellow teammate on the football team. But a local chapter of a national organization says the current misdemeanors aren't enough.
These are things that we don't want to bring a hammer down on children, but at the same time we have to make sure that they understand that that kind of behavior is not acceptable. The hate speech that is going on inside of our schools when kids are just trying to get an education.
Denisha Vinegar, mom to 14-year-old DeMarco, told WKYT she found threatening messages on her son's computer. At one point, DeMarco was asked if he knows what lynch means, and the message goes on to say, "Lynch means I'm going to hang you because you're black and I just might."
And so that's the reason why we've really pushed for this case to be elevated, because we don't want this to happen to anybody else.
The next step for the local chapter of the NAACP is for them to get in contact with the Commonwealth Attorney. If the Commonwealth Attorney takes on this case, it then becomes a federal one.
These youth, they're being fed that by their families oftentimes. And so while people think that symbols and maybe this kid's verbiage isn't really that big of a deal. It really is because it speaks to a larger issue. And it's something that we have to make sure that we alleviate, and it won't go away if we don't talk about it.
DeMarco is now attending a public school. Fayette County Attorney Larry Roberts said he could not speak specifically to this case because it's pending and because it involves juveniles. In Lexington, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
Now, Lexington Catholic released a statement saying, as an academic institution, we must learn from this experience. They also said they will become a more inclusive and welcoming community.
Lexington police are still searching for a man wanted for robbing a store. Police say a man walked into the Dollar General on Leestown around 9 o'clock yesterday morning demanding cash. Police are not sure if the man had a gun, but the clerk told them that he did not see a weapon. Police say the man did get away with some money. Witnesses gave them a very limited description of the robber. A Laurel County man is facing several charges, including burglary, after being caught blue-footed. Deputies say 46-year-old Scotty Seeley was beating on the door of a home on John Deere Trail early Saturday morning. The homeowners say someone took items out of their house and into two outbuildings, and the thief there had spilled a box of pond dye, and then that left a lot of footprints around. Deputies say when they booked Seeley, his shoes were dyed greenish blue. They have charged him with burglary.
Deputies in Western Kentucky say a man is dead after a 17-year-old shot him. The Ohio County Sheriff's Office says the teenager shot 41-year-old Kevin Merritt while trying to defend his father. Deputies were told Merritt was trying to attack the teen's father with a wood saw. No charges have been filed. A former Western Kentucky University tight end is facing charges. Police booked 23-year-old Tyler Higbee into the Warren County Jail early yesterday morning. They charged Higbee with assault, alcohol intoxication in a public place, and fleeing or evading police. They have not said what led up to those charges. Now, Higbee is considered one of the top tight end prospects for next month's NFL Draft.
The time is 4:37 on WKYT this morning, and anyone attending upcoming shows at Rupp Arena will see some changes to the security process there. Our news partners at the Herald-Leader report that arena leaders have bought 30 walk-through metal detectors. The detectors are similar to those at airports and will do full-body scans of people entering. They'll be used on the April 16th Outcry show. The director of arena management says moving up to the stand-up metal detectors was prompted by requirements from concert promoters. Many require the detectors as part of their contract to bring artists into Rupp. UK leaders have not yet decided if they will move to walk-through detectors for UK men's basketball games.
A Powell County man's dream is to see the ocean, and he has only a few months left to make that dream a reality. Mark Nestor says he has throat cancer, and doctors have given him 3 to 4 months to live. A former college instructor of Nestor's is raising money to take him on one last trip. WKYT photojournalist Tyler Ross shares his story.
We have a special one. Special one. I love this woman. She inspired me so much. She's my former instructor, college instructor.
I started the GoFundMe account. He knew nothing about it, and I started it because I knew that it had already been stated that he wanted to go to the ocean.
It is the most relaxing thing I've ever experienced in my life.
And I just pulled the number out of my head that $2,000 would cover a trip down there. Within 7 hours, we were just like a couple $100 short of the goal.
See, I wanted to go in middle school and help people. Went all the way through school. I'm proud of myself, everything I've accomplished. And then I'm going to have people take care of me, but I'm all right with that. It's carpose, sarcoma, and throat cancer. My nurse has been taking care of me, hospice nurse. It's really touching that I've touched so many lives too. I've been an inspiration for a lot of people. I would never dream this would happen. Yeah. And then feel the sun, the sand, water. But, you know, my brother's definitely going with me. It's something I won't take.
Now we have a link to that GoFundMe page on our website, WKYT.com, and one on our WKYT News app. You can download it for free in the app or Google Play stores. And friends and family of a Lexington woman fighting cancer are trying to raise money to pay her hospital bills.
Sarah Lister has been the executive director of the Ronald McDonald House in Lexington for the last 10 years. Now she's the one who needs help. In January, doctors diagnosed Lister with leukemia. Since then, the community has raised more than $40,000 for her. Lexington Singers held a benefit concert for her yesterday at O'Neill's on Richmond Road. Her mother was there and thanked the community for their support.
It keeps us afloat. We've had meal train, we get cards. People send us Kroger cards, which is such a treat. I mean, it's just been wonderful.
Lister was not able to make it to the concert, but she did watch it through a live stream. If you'd like to donate, we have a link to the online fundraiser for Sarah at WKYT.com. Always good to see people stepping up. It's good to have you with us Monday morning on WKYT. We're just getting started. The time now is 4:41.
There are a lot of health guidelines for pregnant women to follow, but expecting moms might not know about one issue that's commonly overlooked. That's coming up in today's Mom's Everyday Minute.
And get ready for what looks to be a rather nice looking week of weather. We just have to get past today. Coming up, I'll show you what lies ahead for this afternoon.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Mike Linden.
Good morning and welcome to the work week. It has certainly been an odd past few days in the world of weather here in Kentucky, but it looks like one more day for you before things do begin to transition toward a beautiful looking and feeling week. Right now, though, on Defender, we are looking at some showers along northern Kentucky, right along the I-75 northbound corridor. So if you're heading through Scott County or even through Franklin County, could be running into some light rainfall, but nothing really that's going to impact the morning commute all that much. We look at what's going on, though, up above, and you can see how this mild air from the southwest is seemingly digging into the bluegrass. That is because we're in between right now a warm front to our east and a cold front to our west. So behind that warm front, we have all of this warm air rushing in from the south and southwest, whereas over the past few days, we had the air coming in from the north and northwest. What a difference that has made as well with our temperatures. Right now in the mid-50s, this is warmer than where we were all day on Friday and on Saturday. So it just goes to show you how this pattern switch has really begun to push us forward, if you will, for the week ahead of us here. Most spots sitting in the mid-50s, and that marks a big step up. Almost 20 to near 30 degrees of difference in a few spots out there in just 24 hours. How about Maysville? 29 degrees. Montgomery County, Rowan County, 27. The state capital up near 29 degrees of difference as well. So as you just saw, right now we're sitting in between a warm and a cold front. And what you need with the unstable weather is for that cold front to come in behind, kind of like the cleanup crew, and push everything out ahead of it. And that's what's going to happen today. So watch your hour by hour here. We'll start you off at 8 o'clock this morning. Mainly the northern zones will be looking at the showers through the morning hours. But into the afternoon, it's pretty much all systems go for everybody. Temperatures getting back into the mid to high 60s, which is really close to normal for this time of year. If it weren't for the cloud cover, we likely would hit normal. Now, as we get into the afternoon and that cold front begins to dig into the bluegrass on the western side, that's where we get this well-defined line of heavy rain and what's likely to be some thunderstorms as well cutting across the bluegrass. Of course, behind that cold front is colder air. Temperatures, at least for one more day here, are going to slip back into the 30s for Tuesday morning and back into the lower 50s for daytime highs. So once we get into tomorrow, that pretty much is essentially hitting the reset button on the work week for where we should be for this time of year. Because moving forward, we're looking at things getting a lot better into the center of the work week. So things are going to get better. We just have to get to that point. Tomorrow really looks like the last day for us to get in on the colder temperatures, especially through the morning hours. And as we get into the second half of the work week, it's at that point that we get back to the milder temperatures and the sunny skies. So one more day to go before things get a lot better.
This is exciting. I'm so pumped.
Get to break out of this, right?
Yes.
You know, yesterday afternoon was okay, but still a little on the chilly side.
Better than Friday.
You're
and
right
Saturday.
about
Yes.
that. That's true. All right, it is 4:47. As many as 40% of pregnant women develop gum disease during pregnancy.
Yet as common as it is, many pregnant women may not even know they have it. There's more in today's Mom's Everyday Minute.
Hi, we're at the dentist's office today with Dr. Kevin DeGroot, and we're talking about women who are becoming pregnant or are pregnant needing some specialized dental care or attention.
Absolutely. One of the most common things that pregnant women struggle with is gum disease, and actually about 40% of pregnant women have some form of gum disease.
Why is that?
A lot of it has to do with the hormones related to pregnancy, and it causes your gums to have a more pronounced inflammatory reaction.
And so how would you notice this, or how would you know?
The typical first signs are going to be red and swollen gums, or gums that maybe bleed while you're brushing or flossing.
Okay, and you should come in and see your dentist during that time.
Absolutely. We strongly recommend our pregnant patients coming in to see us, and sometimes we even recommend more frequent cleanings because of the gingivitis.
Many changes you're going through when you're pregnant. Your dental care is just another one of them.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For more great ideas, head on over to momseveryday.com.
For these tips and more, just go to WKYT.com and click on Moms Every Day.
Time this morning is 4:49. Good morning to you. Great to have you along, and a lot more news coming up on your Monday.
Friends and family mourn after the death of a Johnson County teenager whose visitation will be today. More details coming up on WKYT this morning.
Welcome back into WKYT this morning on your Monday. It is 4:52 right now. A man killed in a crash Friday in Lexington was a cartoonist known for his drawings in the New Yorker.
The New York Times reports 76-year-old William Hamilton drew cartoons that poked fun at the wealthy and powerful. He worked for the New Yorker from 1965 until his death. His wife says Hamilton liked to go for afternoon drives and was about 4 miles from their horse farm Friday when he crashed. Lexington police say Hamilton's car crashed into a pickup on Old Richmond Road. Hamilton later died at UK Hospital.
The visitation for a Johnson County teenager who died Friday will be tonight. 15-year-old Luke Caudill died in Paintsville Lake on Friday. Police say he and some friends were walking on the edge when he fell in and drowned. Caudill was a freshman at Johnson Central High School. He was also a quarterback for the school's football team. His coach and teammates say Caudill had a promising future in football.
He's a good leader. I mean, he rallied his troops together, got them ready to win. He's always positive. He always had a positive outlook on the game. If you're down, he's going to try to lead you back to a victory, and he's ready to do the job.
Tonight's visitation for Caudill will be at 6 o'clock at the J.W. Call Funeral Home in Pikeville. Funeral services will be at 3 o'clock Tuesday at the R.H. Ratliff Cemetery in Shelbyana.
It has been 1 year since an inspirational woman lost her battle with brain cancer. 19-year-old Lauren Hill died last year. The teenager was diagnosed just weeks after signing to play basketball at Mount St. Joseph University in Cincinnati. She played in 4 games before becoming an honorary coach. Hill's hometown in Indiana dedicated a street and a stone memorial to her. It's on Gages Lane, which runs beside the cemetery where Hill is buried. It was renamed number 22 Lauren Hill Lane.
And coming up on WKYT this morning, we'll have a look at some of the stories our news team is working on for you this morning.
And we'll have another look at your morning forecast. That's coming up.
It's 4:57. Our news team is busy this morning. Lots of stories coming right up and improvements in our weather.
Oh, yes. I'm so excited about this upcoming week, Mike.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. We still have one more day to deal with before things do slowly but surely get a little bit better. Right now, we're starting off with some showers along northern Kentucky, and that's going to be the case almost the entire day today. There will be some showers somewhere in the bluegrass state. Into the afternoon, getting back into the upper 60s, which is really close to where we should be normally. But we trade the warmer conditions for what looks to be some active weather into our afternoon, a chance for some thunderstorms here moving forward. There's still a lot more news and weather to come on WKYT this morning. Stay with us.